Pureza. I am the CEO of Social Media Shows. We want to bring you inspiring, educational, motivational, and positive shows. I hope you are watching. It's happening now.
Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Yeah, G.I. Joe Skoda in the flesh. And today's office happens to be on top of the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, it's what is it, about 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's already 90 something, and we've had 100-degree weather, and it's crazy. It's going to get a lot warmer the next couple of days when I'm here. Now, very interested. I just flying in a couple nights ago from Columbus, Ohio. Well, I spent a weekend between Cleveland, Youngstown, and Columbus, and all over visiting family, my own family, and my girlfriend's family, Vanessa. And we went there to Ohio for her niece's wedding out in Cleveland. It was the best time. You ever been to a wedding? It gets exciting. You got to meet some different family or friends you never met before, and everyone's celebrating, having a great time. I want to talk to you a little bit about my trip from Columbus, Ohio to Phoenix a couple days ago. Now, I got stuck in the middle seat. And have you ever been stuck in the middle seat? It's usually not very comfortable. In fact, since Vanessa and I did our agenda at different times, we did not sit together. She sat in the middle seat about 4 or 5 rows in front of me, and I'm in the middle seat, obviously behind her. It was miserable, but it's not the end of the world. You just kind of fold your arms and wish for the best. Now, a lot of people like to sit on the end, unless you got broad shoulders in the aisle, then you keep getting bumped by the cars and people walking by you and spilling things on you. And sometimes you're by the window where you can sleep, which is good. But if you have big shoulders again, there's not a lot of room. So regardless of what seat you're in, it can be very uncomfortable, especially if you're big. Now, in my row, the woman next to me was a little hefty. The guy next to me was a little hefty. And looking at me, I wasn't as hefty as them, but I have a little heftiness going on myself. So we literally had to lift up the armrest between us so we could all sit semi-comfortably. We cannot put the armrest down. So they were all up, and we're all just, well, there's no bumping elbows. I mean, our elbows and legs are touching. There's nothing we can do about that. Anyways, I was stuck in the middle, and usually when I'm on a plane, I like to take a nap. I like to sleep because I want to be wide awake, or at least alert wherever my destination is. Whether it's 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 6, whatever it is, I want to be alert. You know, obviously, usually getting rental cars, I want to be able to drive from point to point and kind of know where I'm going. Even if I don't know where I'm going, I want to be, sound mind enough to figure it out. Now, the woman next to me on my left, actually both people, they're both from Phoenix, Arizona, and went to Columbus for different reasons. The girl on my left, who's from Columbus, has a husband, has 3 or 4 grandchildren, and she was on the plane 4 hours from Phoenix to Columbus, a 2-hour break in between, and then another 4 hours from Columbus to Phoenix. Hopefully I got that right. She went there to drop off her grandson, who spent summer vacation with her, and had to get back so she can get to work the next day. Now, how about that? I've been on flights 10, 12, 14 hours long, and they're miserable. Of course, international flights are usually a little bit wider. You get food, for instance, drinks. It's a little more comfortable. But domestic, they're usually pretty small, especially if you're big like a lot of us are. Even normal Americans are big compared to a lot of people in other cultures. Anyway, she was in a good mood. She was there talking, bragging about how great her grandkids are, talking about when they learn how to swim, talking about some of their favorite activities, kind of in a good mood. Even though she had us on the plane for 8.5 hours, more or less, she was happy to do so for her grandchildren. A pretty mood. I was in a fairly good mood also. I'm coming back from a wedding, and it was pretty exciting. Met some wonderful people I never met before. Now, the guy next to me, who's also from Phoenix, he was attending a funeral in Columbus for his uncle. Now, his uncle lives in Phoenix, Arizona, but Columbus, for some reason, they had a plot there. I think he lived there once upon a time. So a lot of his relatives were on the plane going to Columbus to bury the uncle or loved one and then fly back to Columbus. So he wasn't really in the uppity mood. In fact, he was watching a show about the Iraqi war. A lot of people spend time either playing games on their phone or maybe reading a book or watching a movie. He had a little laptop, he was watching a movie. Now, I usually don't pay attention because, people want their privacy. And usually, since they have headsets on, you can't hear it anyways. But this particular moment, you can read the subtitles, and I understood the plot. I heard the words. Well, I didn't hear them, but I saw them and I understood what they were talking about. It had to do with the EOD and putting out bombs. And very exciting. I forgot the name of the movie, but I'm going to look it up because I was enthralled and excited about it. But here's a woman all happy and excited and talking about her grandchildren and her family and things like that. And here's a guy over here coming from a funeral watching something negative and dangerous, even though it's real. This stuff really happened in real life. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East myself. It was just a different, a different atmosphere, a different vibe from each one of them. And even though I wanted to sleep, put my arms there and take a nap, the lady on my left kept talking about her grandkids. The one on the right kept talking about funerals and death. And I'm kind of going back and forth. Now, quite frankly, if I didn't like the video, I probably wouldn't have spent as much time listening to the guy on my right. But he was very interesting and got to hear a little bit about his story. And even though he didn't serve in the military, he had a lot of family and friends that did. So it was very interesting. And how often do we go out there and someone wants to talk to us and we're sitting back like this, like we're not interested, or one ear out the other, we're really not paying attention? When you and I talk, and we know we have one mouth and two ears, and we know there's a reason for that. We're supposed to listen more, to understand and comprehend, and not necessarily say something. Sure, sometimes they're going to ask for our recommendations, our advice, what do we think? But more often than not, people just want to be listened to. Now, I didn't know either one of them, but the 4 hours that we were on the plane together, I got to know them a little bit. So after an hour or two, you get to know a little bit about their story. So we're able to interact more. But sometimes all we got is 30 minutes or an hour or 10 hours, whatever it is. And they just want someone to vent to, someone to listen to them, show compassion, not necessarily say anything. And often as human beings, we, as males especially, we just want to fix things. We just want to say, go get them. We just want to say, and how dare they? And we really don't have a right to do so, especially if we don't understand both sides of the story or if we're not even asked for our opinion. Now, here I am. I'm enjoying this time. And quite frankly, I spent a week in Ohio. I'm about to spend a week in Phoenix, Arizona, well, different parts of Arizona also. I'm on the 4th or 5th floor of the Sheraton downtown. It's beautiful. You hear the traffic in the background. I'm outside, and it's raining a little bit. That's okay. I enjoy it. But even though I want to often sleep on planes, every now and then someone wants you to lend them an ear. And quite frankly, in this world, we need someone to listen to us. It doesn't really matter if you're rich or poor, somewhere in the middle. Most of us are somewhere in the middle or lower middle, and we just want someone to listen to us. Okay, this person got sick, or this person died, or someone over here is homeless, or my son can't find a job, and we all have those things. In fact, I heard a Toastmasters meeting today. A friend of mine from Singapore gave a speech about our invisible bag. You know how often we find someone who we think is all bubbly and exciting and all that, but they're carrying along a bag of secrets, illness in the family, death, relationship breakup, and the list goes on and on. And we don't see that because we're not really in tune to what they're really saying. We just look at, hey, Mary, it's good to see you again. Hey, Jim, glad you got that. And they're always smiling and bubbly, but often they want to have a serious conversation or or sometimes just leave me alone right now. I don't want to talk about it, or I'm kind of busy. I can't explain right now. And we often want to prejudge and say, well, what's wrong with you? You're always late, or you're never on time, or oh my goodness, you wearing the same clothes 3 days in a row? Come on, get with it. So we often point fingers, expecting the other person to always be bubbly and exciting, or at least get on board with the program, right? Sure, I do also. And sometimes my mind's a little scattered because, quite frankly, I have an invisible bag also with things going on in my life. And sometimes I talk about it in a format like this, and sometimes I don't. You'll see sometimes I'm putting a show out that's usually due on a Monday. I'll put it out Tuesday because there's just so much going on in my mind, and it's pretty exciting. With that being said, please subscribe to josephskoda.com, a little bit more about me in the office. Find me on YouTube or Vimeo, and definitely the social media shows network. You find out more about Joseph Stephen Skoda III and the different things I'm involved with. And that's exciting. See, that was my 10 or 20 seconds about rah me. But this isn't about rah me. This is about rah us. This is about, are we compassionate? Do we show concern for others? Are we committed to actually listening? And more often than not, we aren't. You know, if you're listening, you're leaning in. Well, maybe on a plane, you're leaning to the left or right, but you're leaning and listening. You're not sitting back with your arms crossed or being distracted. A lot of people are looking over here doing, oh, don't worry, keep talking. I can hear you. You can hear them, but you're not really listening. And I understand life's so short, and we all have so many things going on in our world, in our time, and we don't understand what's happening. I challenge you. I really challenge you to listen. How many times siblings get on our nerves and we hear the same story over and over? Okay, we know your son's been sick 5 or 10, 20 years ago, and he had all these surgeries. I don't need to hear it over and over again. I know that I feel bad, but what's going on in your life now? How can we communicate now? How can I help and maybe serve you and help your day just be a little bit better? We don't always do that because us as communicators, we think we're communicators, nag, complain, bitch about things over and over again, and people kind of tune us out, get tired of hearing it, run the other way when they see us coming. Yes, I'm guilty of that, and I know many of you are also. We need to be a little more careful and compassionate. Even your sibling or your mom that might have dementia, or your dad who might be distant, or whatever's going on, we don't know the last days of any of us on this earth of ours. They may outlive us, and we never told them we love them, or even tell them we love them even they passed before us, or just give them a listening ear, even though we may hear the same story over and over and over again. And I think you know what I mean. Yeah, it can be aggravating. Yes, it can be cause anxiety and even depression, since we know some loved ones aren't quite remember like they used to. But quite frankly, that could be us one day if it isn't already. And yeah, it's hard to give that listening ear for hours at a time, let alone just 10 minutes. Sometimes we don't have the time to do so. So it's okay to set up time. Say, okay, Mom, I love you. I'm busy right now. I'll call you back at 5 o'clock. Or, hey, keep that in your mind. Tuesday morning, I have some free time. We can chat about that. It's okay to take control of our own lives and still be compassionate and listen to others. It's so important that we find the time to truly listen if we're going to be human beings that really care. Sure, we can all say we care. We can all spend our money over here or maybe some time over there. But we're going to die without our assets. We're not taking our car with us, our money, our house, or even well, sometimes your wedding ring, you can do that. So spend the time on this earth doing things that really matter. And what really matters is serving others, showing compassion, concern, hearing, and helping in any way we can. And all we have is our time, our talents, or our treasures. Those are the three things. Sometimes we have all of them, sometimes we don't. So find out what works best for you and give it and serve others and make this a wonderful world. With all that being said, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Happens to be in Phoenix, Arizona right now. Who knows where it'll be next? It was in Ohio last week, and I'm actually headed to Tennessee next week. So who knows? I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity and freedom to do some of those things that I want to do when I want to do it. And those are the important things to think about. Regardless of where you are in your life, regardless of who you know or don't know, make the best of it. With that being said, you're now with Joseph Skoda. Look me up. Let me know if I can lend an ear to you. Well, I do wear glasses when I want to see. So have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.